Many days after floods triggered by monsoon rains affected 4.7 million people in Pakistan's northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, the increasing problems of food shortage, lack of drinking water and spread of diseases are posing a growing threats for the provincial government, which lacks the resources to cope with the situation. While foreign countries have made pledges of millions of dollars to Pakistan in the current devastation caused by the worst floods in its history, officials in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa say they are yet to receive the share of foreign aid meant for relief of flood victims from the central government. Aid agencies say with food and clean water in the flood-affected areas in short supply and waterborne diseases a real threat, much more needs to be quickly done to avoid a looming crisis. Officials say fever, stomach problems and skin diseases are spreading among the Pakistani flood victims. These diseases could raise the death toll from 2 weeks of flooding to more than the estimated 1,600 who have already died. Provincial officials say while Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has been at the forefront of the so-called war on terror, it has not received enough aid from the international community in the current disaster.
Our Chief Minister has already said if the world community does not stand up to provide us immediate help and assistance to our poor people who are struggling for life, they might be disappointed in the friendly relations with the peaceful world, and out of desperation they might join the militants who are constantly misguiding them.
Said to be a haven for the Taliban and Al-Qaeda-linked militants and other insurgent groups, northwest Pakistan has been the scene of military offensive against the militants, the largest one of which led to displacement of over 2 million people in May 2009. Analysts say the scale of the disaster and the inability of the government and aid agencies to help the affected people led many groups said to have links to the militants to rush to the people's aid. They also warned that if there is no comprehensive plan in place for the flood-hit people, poverty, despair and frustration with the government may force some to join the militant groups.
I think these three factors would give the militants a little respite to regroup, and the damage that they have received is lesser, and the damage which the infrastructure by itself, which goes to them, on which operations have to take place, for example the roads and the bridges, etc., they have been washed away, they are underwater. So I think they could take advantage of this situation.
The floods have been described as the worst natural disaster in independent Pakistan's 63-year history. The UN on Wednesday launched a $459 million appeal for emergency aid, but says billions will be needed in the long term. UN spokesman Maurizio Giuliano has said up to a quarter of the country has been affected by the floods, though not all those areas were necessarily underwater. Zahid Hussain, Press TV, Peshawar.